Right, so we'll have a look into this. First of all, data versus information. So throughout the session, we're supposed to discuss these two concepts, especially once it comes to information rather than data, because data is quite simple concept compared to information. We see what is data: a given fact, number, statement, or a picture, whatever that you see in the world, it's just data. Sometimes you hear, sometimes you touch, it's just sensing for some sort of sensor inside your body. All of these are data, raw material. Those are raw materials in production of information. Before conversion, everything stays in the world as data. You are the person who transfer this data into information. The processing of information causes how it works and what kind of modification would be happen for the raw material or the raw data. What is this information? Information means that the data have meaning with the context. Now, in this case, data do not consist of any meaning. There's no any meaning at all. If you take 10101101 or blue, red, green, or good, bad, there's no meaning at all. Almost everything is data. And information has a value. There's a conversion. There's a process of converting raw material or raw data, raw facts are converted to a meaningful fact. This meaningful fact is known as information. Data after manipulation. So after manipulate some sort of data, you will take it as information. Now, this is one example, a customer survey. It's an example of understand all this data and information. Reading through data collected from a customer. So if I take an example, generic example, I'm going to create one Google form with you, and I'm sharing that form, and I'm asking your first name, your last name, and your marks for subject 1, marks for subject 2. Likewise, I'm asking up to certain level, like marks up to subject 5. Then you're supposed to submit it. Now, this initial form consists of some raw facts related to you. We'll take your name is Mr. ABC. Mr. ABC has filled this form. Now, what is happening in here? He provides all data, raw facts in these text boxes. Now, this Mr. ABC submitted it, completed this form, and I received all the students' details like this: Mr. ABC, then Mr. XYZ. Likewise, I'm getting details, raw details, raw facts. First name as ABC, then last name as something, right? Then marks is 35, then we take 70, and so on and so forth. Here also you are getting set of details. First name as XYZ, then last name as something. Then you are taking marks at 60 and 50. Similarly, you can retrieve all the data in your class. Mr. Saho, Mr. Arun, Mr. Kumar, Mr. Dasun, Mrs. Shanu, Patel. Now what happens in here, all the field data or the facts are consist in this sheet. We'll take, I have export as an Excel sheet, it's an XLS, right? So it's Excel sheet. Now it consists of raw facts. There's no meaning at all at this moment. There's no meaning, no value at all. It's just a set of numbers, 35, 70, 60, 50 or something. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to find who is the best student who scored highest mark for the subject one, marks for subject one. For that, I just need to take all of these raw facts, 35, 60, 75, 70, and so on and so forth. A lot of details are here. What I'm going to do, I'm selecting, I'm comparing this one with this one and this one and this one, and finally I'm finding what is the largest value. So, or even you can simply sort it into ascending or descending order. Then you can take the first value or the last value according in this Excel sheet. That's a simple process, right? After this process, the word comes into the context. The process, these raw facts processed. After processing, I'm taking value of the highest student. In this case, the highest student is 75. The highest student is 75. How I took this 75? Because I have done some sort of mathematical action on this data. What is this time? What's the mathematical action that I have done? I have sorted it into ascending or descending order. It's a mathematical activity. Not only mathematical, something else even you can apply. For the most part, the processing, you might find math involvement. But there are some certain instances that math do not involve, but most of the cases involve in the math. That means you are doing even a simple subtraction or even addition. I'll take an example. I'm going to sum. I'm taking all the students' details, sum. What I'm going to do, I'm going to process it. I'm going to process it. After processing only, I'm getting the marks, 3,500 or something. All right. Without processing, I can't take this raw material to find the total marks or the all student, the complete marks for this all of the students. Or even you can take the average. What you are going to do, you are taking the sum, then divide by the number of students. Number of students, 35 or something. Then you are taking, this is the marks, average marks. For this case, it what happened? 135 students. 135 students are there. So all students, the collective value or the sum is 3,500. So I divide it. This is another mathematical action. Or simply what you have done, you have converted the data into information. Now there's a value. I can say, all right, this class average, average student performs marks as, I don't know. You can do the calculation. I'm just taking random value. Right? We take random value 78. Right? 78. The average is 78 or average is 68. I haven't do the calculation. You can do the calculation right on. Find the actual values. I just give you random values. Right? So this is the average. On top of that, we can say one of student is above the average or below the average. Above the average means you have to do a comparison operation, greater than or equals value or less than or equals value. In this case, if we take average is 68, this student is less than average. This student is greater than average. All of these are mathematical calculations or mathematical functions are applied in onto this data. Then I'm retrieving a specific value. This value is known as information. It's pretty clear. Regardless of any other thing, you can easily understand. All right. If there's a mathematical or some sort of processing happens, it is not required to 100% to be a mathematical equation to be applied for the data and take some sort of output. And in the other case, it might be not a single output, even there might be multiple outputs after processing. How it comes to multiple outputs. I take an example again. I'm converting all these raw facts into ascending order. We'll take or descending order. We'll take simply descending order. The topmost value is the largest value. Obviously, that's not the single output I'm taking. The next one is the next largest number. I'm taking these numbers. Don't think like these are not the correct numbers. So it's a different case. Clear? So after performing this or conversion of this process, there might be multiple outputs. Simply, you can say the worst student in the class who took just 2 marks. We have done only one mathematical equation for all of the data and took multiple outputs. There are possibilities. Now, these are the advanced concepts related to this conversion processes. These are the points that you should tackle, not just like tell, all right, raw, these are in raw data is raw facts and information is processed facts. That's it. There are multiple things that you have to think. The conversion process has a lot of confusions or advanced mathematics or advanced processes. Sometimes it's not a single process. It's not a single step. As an example, if you are taking average, in this case, it's not a single step. There are 2 steps involved. The first step is you have to sum up all the students' details. Then what you need to do, you have to count all the students in the sheet, how many students in the sheet. Then you have to divide it. 2 activities you have done prior to the processing. The first activity, the first processing is sum up. The second process is count. All of these are activities that you are performing on top of this data or taking some sort of value for this data. Then only you are dividing it. That's the value generation from raw fact or data. Right? So this should be in your head, the very first thing. Once it comes to your assessments, your final year assessment or something, you can easily understand, all right? Most of the part, what you all need to do is you need to create a set of data and you need to convert into information. That's it. Finally, it might be for your final assessment, it might be knowledge, but most of the part, it's just information. If you clearly analyze it, that's all happening in your all the activities. Regardless of the subject, it might be economics, it might be information systems, it might be mathematics or even history. There's some sort of fact available. What you are doing, you are processing it. After the processing, you are telling, all right, this is the output. That's the reality. All right. Now, once it comes to information, our focus is information systems, management information systems. So you should understand, all right, what is an information in the context of this data and information. It's nothing. It's just a point where process it, most of the part. Process it. Take the raw data, process it, and produce information as output. So this is the place that we all track. We all do, all the activities are performing in this scope. You have set of information. Multiple data might be input, especially once it comes to your final assessment. You are taking multiple sources as your input sources. You are deriving an algorithm or something at the end of the day. Then finally, you are taking an output. It might be not a single output. There might be multiple outputs. recommendations or something. But all you have developed, it's just an information system. Regardless of the subject, even in accountancy or human resource, or even if it is finance, wherever, what you all have done up to now, you have touched some sort of information system which accepts input or raw materials, then it processes it. This is the place that you have touched forever. Then it produces some sort of output. That's all you should understand. Any questions? Sorry, I think I missed to upload these slides. I'll upload it. Yeah, information system as processing information. Now, your question is, can you please elaborate this question a little bit further? The information system as processing information, I can't understand. Information system as processing information. Something in your head, it wasn't written in here. A little bit explanation on this question. All right, that's it. No more questions. Now, what are the good characteristics of good information? What makes this information is valuable? Because if you perform inappropriate, inaccurate, irrelevant, or outdated data, then you will take an output as information which is irrelevant, again, out of the scope, sometimes no value generated. So the theory, garbage in, garbage out. Again, I'm going to apply into here also. If you took incorrect, inappropriate data and you process that data, that generates incorrect, inappropriate, irrelevant data, information. Now, once it comes to information, now you have to understand, because what you all need to do is you need to present the information that you found throughout your subject or whatever the subject that you are doing. So what are the points, the key points that you should tackle? The first one is accurate. The information should be accurate. Now, there's a big problem in here, the accurate information. Why? Especially once it comes to social media. There are a lot of fake information diffusions are there. And these fake information or misinformation, the disinformation, all of these makes some trouble at the end of the day. If your information is incorrect, we'll get back from that social media context back to the subject again. We have done some sort of analysis and we have found some output and we have produced it as an information. You have final year research, you have completed a project, okay, you have produced it as an information algorithm or something. Now someone else is going to use it for their personal purpose or business purpose or research purpose, even whatever, academics or something. Now that your initial information is incorrect, then your final information also incorrect, then your module or the output is incorrect. If someone is going to use the same output, that means it's another disaster for that person. It might be end up with a big problem or a catastrophic problem into your organization or something. So all the time, the information should be accurate. You have to produce accurate information. I'm again telling, if you take the incorrect data into the account, definitely you will get incorrect output as your information. So all you need to do is you need to take correct data, then process it properly. Because if the processing is incorrect, as an example, you have done some sort of mathematical calculation. We have that experience, right? That's why our math questions are getting wrong. The information that we process, the processing method is incorrect. I'm pretty sure that you have got something like 1 + 1 = 3 or something. There's some mathematical mechanism provided for us. I can't remember the actual thing. There's some incorrect mathematics in there, right? After that, we can produce incorrect. So what you all need to do is you need to produce accurate or correct information. It's mandatory. The second one is timely. It should be updated. All information that you are producing should be updated. In any case, if it is outdated, there's no point at all. I'll come to an important point. There's a rule, a golden rule of value of information. Now, if an incident happens in time 0, just now, the value of information is too high, isn't it? As an example, we'll take, there's a bomb blast in Colombo just now. The value of information is too high. After few hours, it's getting all right, no point. After few years, the value of information is getting degraded, no value at all. After some time, there's no, it's not getting to 0, but it's like no point at all. It's like, as an example, some bomb happened in 1996. Now in Dehiwala, I don't know, right? I'm just assuming. I can't remember the extract here. There was a bomb blast. At that time, the people ran here and there, right? What was happened? Like it's a drastic case. Now, people fear to go to the railway station. Now there's no worries at all, because that information is degraded or devalued. The value is not much. Nowadays, the highest value is some hashtag, right? Nowadays, the highest valuable information is some hashtag. So the value of information is too high. Next couple of months, definitely it will be go down, or even next couple of days even. That's it. Yeah, this is the normal curve, right? So your information should be updated timely. I'll take an example that applicable for your final assessment. Now your assessment, your research papers, your all of these things, your supervisors are telling, take most recent research papers. Why is that so? Because the value of information is too high. If you took a research paper in 1999, that might be updated few times here by few researchers. 2005, 2010, even 2015, it was updated. If you took this research paper, the value of information is not much valuable. It's not timely. Here, sometimes 2015 around, some latest information might be there. That's why we are telling it's timely. It's an updated information. The value of information is higher when it comes to the time is nearly 0. We can't take it 0 because it was happened. You should understand this golden theorem behind this information. This is the highest value when it becomes a little bit low. The third point is relevant. It should be relevant. It should provide the context to the decisions. Why we are taking this information? Because we want to take some sort of decision based on this information. Take an example. If any case you are generating a report, we'll take HR report, human resource report, that you have worked in a company called ABC. Now you are taking this report and you are handing over to XYZ company. These people are hired as information technology or IT engineers or something. And here XYZ company is a medical or a hospital, private hospital. So you are taking this report and taking out all of these information, and you're trying to compare these two. There's no value at all. It's irrelevant. The subject matter is totally different. Here they are speaking information technology, they are speaking medical terms. It's totally different. If you present it same HR report to two companies, XYZ company might get upset what this person is speaking about. That's why it should be relevant. Sometimes once it comes to your answer scripts, some of the information is irrelevant. You wrote something, but it's like no value at all. No value at all. It's irrelevant. The next point is complete. It should be complete information. Your information should provide sufficient context for the end user or the person who is going to refer it. It should be complete. In any case, if it is incomplete information provided, that means there's a problem at the end of the day. I will take a real world example to make you this more convenient. I'm pretty sure you all enjoying the teledramas, right? 30 minutes of length. At the end of the teledrama, they are telling this is not the point that is completed. Next day, there are some shots of this small pieces of information, incomplete information. Here they have told it's not complete, this is not the end, you have some more. So now the audience is awaiting until the next point come out. Again, it's telling it's not the end. Again, you have something else. So it's valid. So that's a strategy of teledramas. Don't think the real world, right? Those are most of the teledrama. But think if you're sending a report like this to your manager, there are some more information to be out in next month. So your manager should wait until the next month to take the rest of the information. That time, the value of information, again, the golden curve comes to down. Sometimes there's no point at all. So all the time, the information should be completed. It should provide the entire scenario, not a portion. I will take another example to clear you. If I want to calculate average of the students, there are 30 students in the class, and we'll take randomly. It's just 300 is the total. The sum is 300. Marks is 300. So count is 30. So the average is 10. Average is 10. Now I have missed some information. As an example, some of students do not attend at all. Though there are 30 students, some of students submitted medicals. So it's not complete report now. There are 2 students who submitted medical. So it should be not 30, it should be 28. See, that's a problem. Because of the completeness, you haven't considered these information. The value of context is most relevant, especially once it comes to these scenarios. It should be complete. Your final your report or whatever the report that you are writing, it should be complete. If not, it's a problem. Most of the part you can't take it's 100% complete, but at least up to a certain extent you can. Then the final point is there should be some economical or valuable output should be there. It should be worth. It might be not a monetary value. I'm not speaking about this monetary value, but there might be some another kind of value. As an example, there was a rugby match yesterday happened among two schools, school A and B. A and B. A school won. So there's one. I'm one of all boy from school A. I'm really happy because my school won. How much money for that information? There's no monetary value for this information. Zero. I don't get even a cent after winning this team A. But there's a value for me. There's a person in the B. Then he got to know, all right, my school defeated. There's a value. All right. Now is in next year we'll win. There's a value. There's no monetary value at all. No worries, but there's a value. In 1996, there was a World Cup. Sri Lanka won. There's a value. Even nowadays, you are watching cricket matches. How much you are getting? 1,000, 10,000, 100,000? No, even you don't get a cent. But there's a value for you. That's why you are hang on this cricket match or football or rugby. There's a value. If there's no value, as an example for me, there's some sort of exercise. There's no value for me. So I don't want to hang on that. The information should be valuable. It won't valuable for everyone. There's no cost for all the outputs. That's the reality. There's no cost for all the outputs. It might be some another value, not monetarily. It might be psychological. It might be physical. Why the people are going to gym, and doing hours of hours exercises, spending money, and getting like tired their life. They believe there's a value. Similarly, there's a value for everything. In information also, there's a value. The information system analyst's job role is to find the most appropriate person to share this information. That means the person who required this information or the information valuable, who is the most important person to take into this account. All right. So these are the 5 facts that you should track. Mainly, you should understand what are the things like accurate, timely, relevant, complete, economical, and so on. All right. Any questions? Seems no questions. We'll do a small question day. If there's no issues, we'll do a small question quickly. Give me a second, I'll quickly create a question. This is something like common question you might see throughout. Right, small question in the chat. All right, I think everyone submitted. So I think it's quite easy, and most of you given the correct answer, except few of you. It's less 82% correct answers are there. Not sure why. Quickly I'll okay, I think you can see my screen. Here you can see 47 responses are there, 83 students was answered correctly. I'll take the question. The question is, which of the following graph illustrates the golden rule of information? So the golden rule of information is the value of information is too high when it comes to time near to zero, right? When time it comes to becomes like very near to the situation happens, just happen. As an example, just now parliament member this one has some problem, right? uh, People boycotted around here, and there's a picketing in this area. The value of information is too high. After a while it's getting down and there's no point at all, like it's like common thing. So directly the answer should be 1, so you don't want to even think about those other 4. So this is the correct answer, answer 1. So thank you. It's like 82% correct. Not sure what was happened for these few fellows. If you have still confusions, please let's have a chat, a small chat. I'll clarify what are the problems. All right, thank you. We'll do another question. I think that makes sense. All right, I have shared another question. So we have completed the question number 2. I have created another question, question number 3. I just got only 33 responses for the question number 2. Quickly, others can submit your answers. I don't think so. If you want too much of time, then I can have a small discussion on that. All right, shall we discuss? I'll share the question number 2 first of all. It's like 44 responses are there. Bit confusing. Is that bit confusing? We'll see. Let me quickly share the screen. Question number 2. All right. Now here we'll see the question first of all. The diagram shows the variation of value of information with the time of 5 events. Now there was 5 events happened, right? First single mission of chronological order with the time that there was 5 incidents was happened. As an example, in 1909 we'll take 2020 one situation was happened, and 2021 situation had happened, 20 April, 20 August, and 2021 January, 2021 April. So these are the chronological order. The time is in here. Right? Information about the entire mission, especially about the occurrences of each event, is made available online real time. Okay, so they have collected the value of information with the time. Now 5 events was happened, P, Q, R, S, T. These are the 5 events happened, but it was happened in different time slots, periods. This was happened 2020 January, this was happened 2020 April, 2020 August, 2021 January, 2021 April. So 5 events was happened. So all of graphs are like, at the first glance I can see the golden rule is applicable for this one also. So you can see all of these are having this common curve, right? So we'll see what are the answers. Consider the following statements related to the mission. Only the event PQR compiled with the golden rule. No, right? So PQR is compiled, yes, but it's not only. S and P also compiled with the golden rule. So you can see, right? It was started the high value when it goes, because it was happening 2021 January. Just assuming years, you cannot take some another year and or a date or time. No worries at all. Just assuming to make sure to explanation is much clear for you. This is the graph. So A is incorrect. We have to remove A. We'll take B. Event S has highest demand. Obviously, yes. You can see the value is highest in S. And it needs to be facilitated with the highest technical resources. So the requirement is too high. As an example, just now we'll take one person's like a big tech giant, like will take Sundar Pichai got died. I'm taking like an example. It's a hot news. Oh, Elon Musk got died. Got an accident. It's a hot news. So highest demand, the resources, availability of resources should be high in this case. So B should be correct. The value of event can be determined reasonably using demand of the information about the particular event. Obviously, that is correct. The value of event can be determined reasonably. Now, in this case, Elon Musk, right, so it's valuable information. In this case, it might be some parliament member died. Not parliament member, we'll take a little bit below that. Someone who is like just like some another valuable person. It's not much impact like Elon Musk. So the value of event can be determined reasonably using demand of the information. Here the demand of information is too high. That means the event is too critical. Here the event is critical, not much like this. Okay? So the selection should be B and C. So your answer should be 4. All right. So 40% correct. Some of you got confused. Nowadays at all. Technical resources, yeah, probably under the context of MIS, almost everything is considered as a technical resource, even if it is human resource. As an example, a software developer, it's a technically a required resource. As an example, a cricket match is happening in somewhere, the availability of the servers should be high in that region. That's the reality. Okay. Any more questions? No, clear. The students who got incorrect, do you have anything to add or any arguments? Open for the arguments. This is not school. This is a place where we generate the knowledge. So arguments generate the knowledge. Sometimes valuable arguments only. Invaluable arguments, no point at all. No questions? Clear? The students who got confusions, is that clear? Sometimes it might be because of the English language issue. That might be one reason. No worries at all. We'll go to question number 3. Right. This is my question number 3. There are 44 responses again. Oh, there's few people, some of confusions. Okay, let's see. I'll share the screen quickly. Question number 3. The question is, I think you can see, yes. An information system is a system or a mechanism that accepts input data here and process it. Finally, it provides an output. Yeah, that's the main focus on information system. So simply an information system is a place where accept some sort of input, then it process something, then it provides some sort of output. That's an information system. So for that, there are mainly different components should be applicable, like processors, people, data, information, and the procedures. So all of these should be in the system, obviously, yes. But in generic terms, we can accept this question. So I think, yeah, 97% correct. Only one student got false, I think. Sometimes, again, with the issue with the language. So if there's some sort of language issue, quickly fix it. Now you people are grown. All right. I'm not telling it should be perfect. At least to understand what is in there, that's more than your writing might be okay. I don't care about that. Right? But improve it. All right. Any more questions up to now? No? Everything is clear? Okay. Share the screen then. Okay. Now, there are different forms of information representing. Okay, what are these forms? Let's see what are these forms. The first form is, the representation. Computer stores data in binary representation. That's obvious. Anyone still having confusions? What is binary? It's 1 or 0. So it's 1 or 0. In simple terms, it's 1 or 0. Then single bit is a 1 or 0. 8 bits equals to 1 byte. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 bits in here. 8 bits in the sense that means just it's a 1 byte. All right. So 1 byte can hold the value from 0 to 255. Even needs to clarify this? 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Is that so? No? Something gone wrong? Any arguments on this? Why it's not 256? It's 255. Any arguments, any inputs? No arguments? Keeping quiet? Okay. Next day, try to find it. That's a small activity to do at all, right? Why it's 255, not 256, right? I'll create a small form for that. You can answer. And for your assessments, the CAs, I am planning to add some additional marking scheme like points for you. I'm proposing this new method for the field of academics. Add points. So point equals to 1 mark. So then you can get more marks up to 50 out of 50. We'll see how it works out. Today I'll update that model. All right. There are types: numbers, text, images, sound, and video. So these are the major classification of this data and information representation. So the data or information can be represented using numbers, text, images, sound, or video. Okay, so these are major classifications. Numbers can be divided furthermore, text can be divided furthermore, images can be divided furthermore, sound can be divided furthermore, videos can divide furthermore. Okay. Now, have you done any group activity in here? A group activity, a simple group activity by dividing into separate groups? No? I'll check the possibility to divide you into groups. Breakout rooms, all right, here. It's in there. So rather that we'll do individual, right? Unless you might be get boring. What I'm going to do, I'm sharing one question with you. You have to argue. Okay, I'll quickly share the question with you. Then I will discuss how should be there. All right, I have shared another question. So you can take 2 minutes for each question. So I give maximum 10 minutes for you the answers. So you can take 2 minutes and quick argue how these conversions can be happen, or is there any possibility or something you can't even. So your answer should be strong with some sort of evidences. All right. So I'll give 10 minutes. I'll start the clock now. All right, I think it's enough time. So I got very interesting answers actually. I just got only 8 answers, but no worries at all. I know it's a bit confusing, right? It's confusing for answer. You know, answering is a like it's some sort of like what we call style, or it's an art, which is like, for me, I don't have that art. That's the one problem. Like most of you, um, I don't have that art. How to answer? I know the concept, but I don't know how to answer. That's recently I just understood the problem is I haven't answered much questions. That's the reason behind this story. So how to map all of these? That's the one thing. Right? So basically, almost all the questions is covered one specified thing, which is how to convert these uh, sources or methods or the styles of data available, like text, okay, or something like this type of number. It's not number I haven't given, sound or a video. So how to convert into a proper information? Now, under this question, what I was expected from you is you should tackle uh, the value of information, or in the sense that the raw material is converted into some sort of decision making point, something that you can take decision. So I have gone most of your answers, so very nice answers are there. Few of you like different deviations are there, that's fine. Somehow one nice answer is in here: convert videos to text file as transcript. Now it's bit advanced, it's an outstanding. So how this video data can be converted into information? Now it's now a new process should be in like middle. So it's asking, all right, there's a some sort of video, right? Embedded voice is in there, embedded sound or the audio is in there. Now you extract that audio, then convert into text, then you process it to information. Now it has some sort of like weird novel answer. Most of your answers are clear, right? Examples like crime scenes, like CCTV footages. So it's a raw material. Until there's a crime, it's just CCTV video, that's it. If there's a crime happens, then it converts to valuable information. Clear? Educational lessons, so it distributed almost everywhere. Specific videos known as information rather than data, so that's important. But most of the cases, videos are something processed. Almost videos are almost processed, right? So you have to understand it, but it can take in different aspects. As an example, if there's a visualization or a movie, you can interpret in different manner. The same movie you can interpret in different manner. One person can tell, all right, it's uh, too old, or it's too boring for me. One person might tell, oh no, it's too romantic, I really love it. Another person might tell, it might be okay, but I can't understand the story what they are telling. So I think you have this experience. Now a movie is a video, so it processed by your brain, and due to different configurations in your brain, like in likelihood and your choice, your favorism, right? Different other cultural aspects like religion and other stuff. So these all are affected for your information, the processing cycle. So that kind of clear, and so explanation should be the most appropriate. Now for this case, it might be really hard. Apart from like simple example like text can be easily converted into information. There's no worries at all. You can take some information in a piece of paper or newspaper or book, then you can process it and you can tell, all right, this is the output. Textual data easily convertible, but once it comes to videos, it's bit hard, especially like the hardness of sound is also bit hard, because a voice or a noise comes from the external source. So your input devices, your ears, understood, all right? This is a siren. This is a siren. So it converts an information. Okay, leave now. It converts some sort of information. This data, originally it's just a data. Clear? It's just a data. It's a siren. It's a siren. Okay, leave, leave. Your brain cells are telling to your entire body, leave, run, run, run faster as you can run. Got the point? So somehow good, very nice explanations are there. Appreciate your effort. You know, a bit confusing. That's the reason for this less number of responses. And now we are in the latter part. That makes another right, another reason, because now it's quite boring. I want to finish this lecture now. The brain cells are running here and there, right? Oh, enough, good. We'll stop it now. Right? Don't worry. Hang on. You hang on. Later on, you can watch this video again. And if something is much explanation required, you can ask me or ask from your colleagues or some another peer or some advanced person around you. No worries at all. Right? We'll have a small discussion on these numbers, text, images, sounds. I'm not going to very in detail, but very generic explanation for your level. So what are these numeric data? Numeric data is can be divided into mainly two parts. I have mentioned only integers, but the other part is data like fractional data, which is floating point numbers or decimal numbers. So simply the integers can be positive, negative, or zero. As an example, 37,496 or minus a value. Simply there's no fraction, there's no decimal value or a point value. Once it comes to computer science, signed integers and unsigned integers we have. Not much related for this subject area, but it should be in your head. And here the signed integers include all the integers, positive, negative, and zeros. Signs needs to be distinguished between positive and negative numbers. Simply an integer number is a whole number or complete a full number like this. Floating point number or a number with a fraction or decimal number is known as number with a fraction or point is having like this 1.37 point something likewise. All right, clear? Give me a second. I'll come back quickly within 5 minutes. I'll back. Don't leave. I'll give me 5 minutes, right? Right. Sorry for the small disturbance. Here the numerical data, and next non-numeric data. Usually text, not only text. There are some other variations too, but text is one of very common type of non-numeric data. Now, once it comes to text, we have different forms like ASCII. ASCII is one of prominent type. We have like from time, very old time onwards, we are working on this. And here, Unicode. Unicode is like international standard. Even non-English languages also having a representation using this Unicode. All right. So when Sinhala Tamil, we have the Unicode text. So you might see some of documents, once you open the document, not in English, you might see some squares, right? Some squares. Sometimes there might be some stars or something. All right. The reason behind this is there's a text in here, but most of the time we can't process it. The computer would not able to process it. That's the core reason behind that. So due to this inability, what computer does, it converts some sort of symbol. It converts to a symbol. That's why you are seeing these squares, stars, question marks, something. Usually a lot of squares are there. So if you are working with Unicode, this problem won't occur. If you are using with Unicode, if you are using non-English language like Sinhala or Tamil or some Japanese or something, you can select whatever the language I'm speaking in general terms. If it is Unicode, if it is Sinhala code, Sinhala word in Unicode, we'll take no worries at all. Computer can process, computer can understand the latest, all the computer, what we call processing things, like what we call it. Yeah, that natural language processing. Natural language processing is happening everywhere in each and every computer type. So if it is or some, I don't know, Tamil, this is right? Or something. I can't remember. Grade 5 or something. I wrote E or something. I can't remember. You can use these Unicodes. You can use Unicodes. Then computer would be able to understand. All right. That means computer can process it and you provide some sort of output. All right. So that's the thing of this conversion, the Unicode conversion. The value of Unicode comes into the context because of that. So if you are today or not, if you haven't used Unicode for especially like Sinhala or something, best solution is use Unicode. Then most of the part your problems are solved. And the second part, apart from this story, if you are transferring this kind of document from one end to another end, as an email or text, email or printing or something, the best solution is don't use MS Word. You don't save it as Word type. Convert it to PDF, portable document format. PDF. Convert it to PDF and share it. Then no worries at all, because it, like what we call it, inked. It freezes in there. So the text is freezed, the specific Unicode. Then you can transfer to any place. So the person who is receiving from the other end, that person can open it and clearly understand. Oh, there's no any textual mismanipulations in there. So it's something like of the discussion, but it's something worth for your life. So always convert into PDF and send it. If it is required, your lecturer or your assessment or something, if the lecturer is asked to ask it to submit as MS Word document, do it as it is, right? Especially if you are using a Unicode, then the best solution is convert into PDF. All right, clear? That's the process, the generic understanding of non-numeric data. All right, we'll go to a little bit non-text data. Now, I have started with numeric data and I have converted into non-numeric data as text data. Now, again, I'm telling, if it is not text, then there are different formats are there, like images, audios, and videos. So all of these are not text. So different types of formats are there for images, JPG, PNG, SVG, and stuff. So once it comes to size of the image, PNG usually small. JPG is heavy. If we take save image, if we save it as a JPG, sometimes it might be 5 kilobytes, but PNG can be 1 kilobyte. So these two are most common once it comes to working with images, and SVGs are common once it comes to web development. You are using SVGs. I'm not going to that level. Some sort of animative images in these GIFs. So I don't want to tell it, right? So you have a lot of GIFs there. especially like memes and stuff. And audios, for audios, you have different types of formats. MP3 is one of most popular type. Wave, this is another popular type. Okay, so these are popular types that you are using. When it comes to videos, MP4 is one of a prominent type. I'm pretty sure you all have this experience. MP4 and WMP. Usually AVI is, I don't think so you might have much experience with AVI file type, because it's mostly we are using for video processing, like graphical, like what we call video editing. For video editing, AVI files are there, and movie files are also there, and movie files are there. So these are file formats. All of these are file formats, different file formats that are available in here. Apart from that, there are a lot of file formats available. So you can go through and understand a bit more. I'm just giving a high level discussion only. So a little bit further, if we go to this audio data, it comes to information system, this audio data is something analog. Right? So this is analog data. What is this analog data? It has, like, if you see this like voice, it's like this kind of a graph. Like, I think you have seen, see this kind of a thing, this kind of a graph. This is analog data. It's not digital. If it is digital, the usual graph is, this is the digital graph, right? Ones and zeros, ones and zeros. All right. So somehow now here, this is one kind of methodology that we are using under this information system, audio data. But once it comes to this audio data, we can't use as it is. Why? Audio data generates as analog data. It's not digital. So analog data, we can't save, we can't process, we can't do anything for the analog data, because it's not it's not the ones and zeros. You know, now the computer can understand only if it comes to ones and zeros. If it is not, computer would not be able to understand. All right, that's the reality. So what you have to do, you have to clearly tell to the computer, all right, convert this analog data, then only you can use this. For that, we have analog to digital converter, a mechanism called analog to digital conversion. Even just now, what I'm speaking in here, my voice generates analog data. Then there's a microphone in my computer. Then my laptop converts all of these analog to digital converter, and it converts some sort of digital data, and it transmits to your end. In your computer, there's a component for digital to analog converter. That digital to analog converter again converted into this wave, extract similar wave like here. There might be small electromagnetical fields or some sort of electronical changes might be there, very little. But usually the same graph we are able to map into here. That analog data converts into electronic, some sort of like voltage. Then from your speakers, you are hearing my voice as it is. There might be very little frequency changes and stuff in there, but usual scenario, this conversion is happening. If you are supposed to save it, this is the place, this digital place, you have to save the data. Now, if you are saving a movie, you don't save the analog data. You save digital data. You save ones and zeros. Clear? That's the story. All right. So this or similar to this audio data, video data also happening same manner, but little bit advanced. So I don't want to go to that level. In generic terms, it also similar method. It converts all the it divides two parts, audio and video. Then video process in a different manner, and audio processes in a different manner, and it showing to your screen or something, it's happening. So it's not too complex for you. I just given very high level discussion only. So regarding this data types, the availability of the data, information, how the data converted into information, and this value of information and other stuff. All right. So I think you are clear on these types: numeric data, these numbers, text, images, sound, and video. So I have spoke about these things. Numbers mainly divided into integers and floats. Text can be Unicode or AXI or something, and a lot of types are there, right? Unicode is one of prominent. Images can be divided into many types. Sometimes you can divide it to vectors and rasters. All right. I will share some additional resource with you, which was conducted by last year, so you can understand a little bit on that concepts also. And so under the sound context, I just a little bit have a discussion on this analog to digital converter and digital to analog conversion. It's just a simple process, so you can go through. If you are really interested, you can go through all these things. And video, it's a bit confusing, and for if it is like two layers are there, audio and video. If anyone having this experience of video editing, it's quite easy. You can clearly understand what happens in here. All right. So I think I have covered most of the part now. Any questions? No questions? If you have any questions, ask me. I'll help you. Is a question? Yeah, sure. I'll upload, but I have to find it. Where is it? Somehow I missed to upload those materials last week, so I have to find it now. Where is it? Right? I'm not sure whether it's in my computer now. Somehow I find it. Any other questions? All right, it seems no questions at all. Okay, I will upload the materials to you, so you can collect those materials and learn. You can go through the reference book 1, the reference book available in here, the chapter 3, and you can understand a little bit further. So it's a recommended material. If I have some time, I'll upload few questions to do. All right, that's it for this week. We'll meet next week. If you have any questions, you can drop an email. No worries at all. Don't wait until representative drop an email to me. Right? It's not a problem at all. Individually, you can send an emails. I don't get upset. Right? So if you are all of the, I think 150 students are there, no worries at all. 150 send individual emails. What are the problems that you have? Share that question with me. Right? I'm keeping a representative if in any case I want to send an information with you, but most of the part I think we'll create some what we call Telegram group, then I can share that information with you quickly and faster manner. We'll see. I don't think so. I'm usually do not get leaves and other stuff, so I don't want to update you time to time. In any case, something gone wrong, then quickly I need to update me. So we'll see. All right then. Thank you. We'll meet next week. See you. Bye bye.